Welcome, everybody, to Ferriphobe Campaign 2, Episode 1. My name is Sam Leonard. I'll be your GM, and I have some players.
Good evening. My name is Zerder, playing Lumi the Druid. Him.
Hi, I'm Suda, playing Risha the Rogue. She goes by she, her.
Hello, I'm Sadie, playing Zari, the Storm Herald Barbarian, and she uses she/her pronouns.
I'm Inter, I'm playing Krior, and I am a male monk, and I go with he, him.
Hello, I'm Ashes. I am playing Ibrakit, the wizard, and she goes by she, her.
I am Deem. I am playing Liondel Shieldbreaker, and I just go by Lion.
All right, so we're going to jump right in, giving no context, moving you there. So, anybody in heavy armor was having watch and heard screams as your companions around the other campfire. You see the campfire snuff out, and your friends scatter, unknowing what's going on. In the distance, not very far, you hear a roiling thunderstorm that is driving its way towards you. Lightning striking from cloud to cloud, and you are mere moments from the wave of rain coming over your camp. I would like everybody to roll initiative, please. And the way you do that is by clicking on your icon on the map, and then going in and clicking initiative in the roller. And
So,
hold on.
I can't see my token to click on it.
Did I not give you sight? I might not have given you sight. Hold, please. If you don't see anything, then let me know.
Well, I can drag an area to find myself, but I can't see it.
There
Dang
you are.
diddly.
Now you should be able to see stuff.
Yes, now I can see things.
Okay. And I need to roll initiative as well. Pop that. Open. Click there. Init. There we go. Pop this
I
out.
still see black. Do I need to refresh?
Nope. I need to give you sight because I forgot to.
Oh, okay. It's one at a time, I see.
Yeah, it is one at a time.
All right.
How do I select token?
Just
You
left
click
click.
on it. If you can't see it and you don't want to wait, you just click and drag the top right corner. You'll find your token. And if you can't see and you have to do that,
Save.
let someone know so he can add sight.
Yes. Does everybody have sight now?
Yes.
Yep.
Some of you can see significantly better than others of you. Oh, I should give these guys a roll as well. Character sheet. There we go. Oh.
Did that work?
All right, so
Bunch of 16 in the initiative. And then me.
sort descending. So we have the NPCs.
I think Risha's missing from the order,
Yes.
the tracker.
Try again, please. Suit up.
What?
Brain is dying.
bodes well.
Indeed.
Yep.
I heard dragon. Yes. Hello.
No, Suda.
No. Suda needs to remember how to roll initiative from the token and not the sheet.
Right.
Oh.
All you have to do is click on your token on the map and then go to your sheet and click in it. There you go. And it was the same.
That's hilarious.
All right.
Mine was unfairly good for what I usually roll.
So, there should be music playing. Is there music playing?
There was.
Was music playing?
Do. That one should be playing. All right. So I'm trying an experiment for everybody who's watching with music. We'll figure out if it's working, but this one has thunder in it. All right. So with a 21 and being first in initiative, 3 people you know from that you have traveled here with. Brain. There we go. That one. Half of the Salty Circle adventuring party who is with you on this journey come running from their nearby campfire and run into the light of yours, pulling on pants, like trying to buckle themselves up and looking like they're lighter than they were a few moments before, and they spread themselves nearby the fire and like looking at you guys really nervous. I don't know, it's real big and it's that direction. They point off towards the southeast. All right, with that, with a 20, it starts raining. Heavy sheets of rain. It goes from nothing to downpour in a moment. And you can tell that your campfire is not long for this world unless you do something to improve it. It is now your turn. Kyror? How do you say your name? Krior.
Yeah, what to do?
So
I think I will run towards the garage
Yep.
to get that, and I want to pick up that torch.
okay, it is a small magical lamp that you
also
can
good.
grab and carry with you. So I will move it onto your token. That is a movement and an action. You have anything for bonus?
No, not at the moment.
All right. Loriandal. Your turn.
Yes. So there were things to the bottom right, correct? I can see things to the bottom right, so
Yes.
what do I have? 5. Well, I will move closer.
Okay. Just directly to your south, those 4 creatures are your Vuji, the goat horses that are that you have to pull the animals, and that direction is a large, slick, now rain-soaked creature who looks mad and has a couple of swords sticking out of the side of its mouth and is currently chomping something meaty.
Where are my spells?
Okay.
Let's see. had in there twice. Oh, because... Okay, I see why. Spare the Dying is in my spell list twice, but it's because one is the touch version, the other is the 30-foot version.
Ah,
Cleric and Circle of Morality,
right.
or Mortality. Can I roll a... What, can I roll something to see if I know what the animal is?
Nature?
Yes, nature sounds right. Nature! Do I know?
Yep,
I
it's,
know
it's
nothing.
large, and it is chewing on something. It looks to be a carnivore.
It's large and angry, that's all I know.
Large and angry, yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my roll scheme.
Yeah, do you have an
This
action
is why
or bonus action?
I have an action. We're going to... see. We're going to Toll the Dead.
Okay, you want to pop it open into the DC 13 Wisdom. So, Wisdom save.
This is why so many of my damage spells require Sam to make a roll.
Uh-huh. All right, so you do some damage to it.
Some.
Yes, some. Well, you rolled a 2 on your damage.
I'm aware.
But
So
now that it's taken damage, Toll the Dead will do more damage later.
accurate. Bonus action?
Do I have a bonus action? I don't know what... I had a bonus action here somewhere. I know I took something that did bonus action. That's a reaction. Oh... Not that yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ibrikit?
I think I'm gonna hold off.
Yep. Your turn, Ibrikit. I'm going to say your name wrong.
Well, I can't see the monster,
Right. You can hear it, and they pointed in a general direction.
Oh, that's awesome.
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my action to cast Control Flames on the bonfire and make it illuminate twice the area.
Okay. That is a thing you can do. Dynamic lighting, bright light. So that 20 and low light 50. Save settings.
I'm going to move over
Aha,
here.
I can see.
Control flame, real good.
And then I'm done.
And then you're done. Okay. Zari, you're up.
I can see, and now I can fight.
Indeed.
Now, how do I move the token?
Fairly points.
Click and hold on your character and then drag to where you want to end up.
Okay. Other people were using like a ruler to make sure they were moving 30 feet.
If you right click whilst you're holding your token, you get the ruler and can drop on it.
I'm terrible at that. The other thing is if you there's a measurement tool, looks like a ruler.
I
So
see.
you are 25 feet away from the thing currently.
Okay, so I am in range to move up to it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna smack it with my maul.
All right. A small smacking attempt. Go for it.
I almost spit out my tea.
That would have been bad. A 12 will not hit.
You're supposed to drink it, not spit it.
So you swing, and this your maul glances off of the tough skull plate of this thing, and it's beady eyes narrow to you as it finishes chewing whatever it was chewing. Any bonus actions?
I guess I would like to rage.
You can in fact rage. You could have done that before you attacked if that would have been, I don't know what plus.
Well, I didn't know what exactly was going to happen, so let's see. Do I do something to activate rage on here, or not?
just mark it on your character sheet that you have used a rage.
Okay. And that is my turn then.
All right. After you, it's its turn. So
Yummy.
it had prey, but
no, did we just skip Risha?
Oh, I did just skip
Yes.
Risha. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. There you go, Risha. You're up.
Risha's gonna simply stand up, draw her short bow, and let loose.
Yep. Do not get sneak attack on it, unless you
Nope,
have something.
don't
that
have
would-
advantage.
Yep. So doing 4 damage to it.
Wait, I'm standing next to it. Doesn't that count as advantage or sneak attack?
Depends on the rogue.
It depends on the rogue. Okay.
If that was the case, I would then use a bonus action to do sneak attack damage, which would do an extra 1d6
As
based on the character sheet description.
pop the sneak attack description into the thing, if you would, please. Being at first level, you know how to strike. You do 1d attack. If you have advantage on the attack roll, you don't need advantage on the attack roll. If another enemy of the target is... Oh, you don't need advantage. So yes, you do an additional 6 damage.
Cool.
All right. So yes, just being within 5 feet is enough to enable sneak attack for you.
Yay.
Now it's its turn. Well, it has prey right next to it, so it's going to attempt to bite you, Zari. 19 hit. Does a 19 hit, Zari?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Then you're going to take 20 piercing damage. I believe since you are raging, it is halved.
Yes.
So take 10 damage, please.
Ow.
Yeah, it hurts real bad. So this song seems to be a lot shorter than it should be, so I'm going to just stop it. All right. I'll fix it in post. Does it get multi-hit? It does not get multi-hit. As part of its movement, it can then use its action to land on this space. No, it likes its prey where it's at. All right, Lumi, you're up.
Lumi will start waving his hands around. 8 small orbs form a box around marked out area.
Okay.
After which all the orbs go ejecting almost glitter-like substance inwards.
Okay.
And
now has fairy fire. All right.
Nice.
So now everybody has advantage to attack this thing.
DC 13 deck save to avoid it, but
DC 13 deck save. Nope. Does not.
everyone has advantage on that thing now.
Yep. Okay. I guess that should have stayed there. Oh well.
No, we just mark the thing as lit up until I lose my concentration.
Yep. It is lit up. Top of the order. These guys. Let's make a. Oh, they rally. Despite having whatever happened. And they're going to move. Can they move close enough? You can move close enough. You can move close enough. You can move close enough. So they swarm their way. Oopsie, no, not that everything. They swarm their way over here. You can go there. And they're going to. I need their character sheets up. Pop that out. Character sheet. That will miss. That will miss. That will miss. So the three of them swing their spears at this creature and proceed to miss 3 times. With a well, moving past, hold on a second. The rain intensifies and the light is dimmed. Back to what it was when we started. Basically, light cuts in half every turn that it's raining. That the fire isn't protected. All right. Cryor.
Jeez.
The bullet is emanating 10 feet of dim light.
Thank you. Low night vision. Dynamic lighting. Low light, 10 feet. Thank you. That actually makes a difference. Because now you guys can still see it. Oh, did you want to take your torch with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I put it on my belt.
It's a thing you have to carry in your hand.
Throwing a javelin is one-handed?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will throw a javelin at it.
Go for it. That will not hit.
Nope.
All right.
That's my turn.
Okay. Lorian
I want to make a nature check to see what it is.
Oh, go for it. It appears to be a very young bullet. Bullet? It's land shark. It's a very young land shark.
Okay.
Loriandal.
Yes. Yes, I see the thingy, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, I relayed that information.
Yeah.
I see the land shark. I'm gonna go ahead and move a little closer because I'm not a chicken.
Maybe you
But
should
I'm
be.
still gonna do this. You
Toll the Dead. DC 13 Wisdom save. Does not succeed.
I doubled my damage from last time.
You did. This thing is looking very beat up at this point. Ibrikit. You're up.
I am also going to Toll the Dead now that I can see it.
Okay. Well, I guess another wisdom save. That I save.
Oh.
17. Does it do half or none?
I believe it does none because it's a cantrip.
Okay. So it manages to avoid the tolling of its life force. Moving on to Zari.
Okay, so How do I roll advantage for another maul attack?
It is
Hold shift as you click the button in roll in D&D Beyond.
Yep. A 23 will hit.
Yay.
And then click on Maul in D&D in Roll20, and it'll actually pop out the damage. Nine damage. How do you take this thing down?
Well, I reel back, and then come down and slam its face straight into the ground.
All right. So there is a with Zari's grunt of effort, their giant maul swinging hits this thing's top dead center of their jaw, and the head bounces off the ground back into the hammer, and then everything is still as this thing comes to rest, with the exception of rolling thunder, flashing lightning, and heavy rain. 5 days earlier, we find you all gathered in a to there. We find you all gathered in the Blue Rock Adventurers Guild, which I had intended to make but didn't get a chance to. So we find you all in the Blue Rock Adventurers Guild having a conversation with the leader of said guild, Guildmaster Gamil. And he says, I don't care. This job takes more than 6. You're taking them along with you. And in the other side of the room is the 6 people known to you as the Salty Circle. Talin, Serhi, Vahan, Ararat, Sirva, and Edvard. They are about a year or maybe 2 older than you, all of them fighters by profession, and recently having left the city guard or the city watch to go adventuring on their own. Does anybody still want to argue with me?
No, but I will mock him under my breath.
I realize they may have weapons, but do they do anything but beat things to a pulp?
He looks over. I mean, they all have marks. They have their own spells. Yes, they do. And Talon comes over and says, we're handy enough in a fight, and besides, with us comes the backing of the city, a couple of carts, and enough supplies to get you there and back, plus some time spent there. So I think if you are going to go on this mad trip to Miva, us coming along is not a bad idea.
Can we have a, how do you say, practice session before we leave to see how good you are?
Gamil shakes his head and says, I don't want you guys beating up on each other before you get out, and I really don't want the chance for you to beat them up too hard for them to not be able to come along with you. If I'm gonna he takes the pipe out his pipe out of his mouth. Imagine me taking a pipe out of my mouth, sets it down on his desk and goes, I know you don't really like following my instructions. You're too good to not stay in the Blue Rocks, but just listen to me this time. They're more useful than they look. I'm sure having them along will be more beneficial than you think right now. And no matter what you do, Either you go and get paid by the city, or you go it alone, and then I guess that's up to you. But if you guys want to get paid for traveling out to Miva, then this is how it's gonna work. All right. Yes, the Salt Circle are, like I said, they're a year or two older than all of you, and they were born and raised in Haifa.
You guys do know what's at stake here? Like, this isn't just some ruin. This is our home, and and Lumi will poke his chest in effect.
Talon nods and goes, "Yeah, and the city is willing to spend 3,000 gold or 3,000 brass to get the village back up and running.
To get the quarry back.
Yes, I suppose you are correct. But
just as long as we know what's really at stake here. Not just a quarry. A home for thousands."
Conceding the point, Talon nods. The next day, you guys are standing outside of the north gate to Haifa. There are two pristine, brand spanking new, large covered wagons. Inside of them is stacked with supplies, food, torches, anything, shovels, anything you think you might need on this journey to Miva. And can I have everybody please give me a perception check if their passive is lower than 15. If your passive is 15 or higher, please let me know.
Perception, you said?
Yes, perception. Ibrikit notices. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a whole bunch of not noticing. Just looking for Loriandal.
Ooh, shiny.
15. So Ibrikit and Loriandal. You both notice underneath the piles of goods several large boxes that have been covered over in the bottom of the wagons, but you can see that there is runic markings. These boxes are somehow magical. You are unsure what their magic is.
Can I try Arcana to figure it out?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have it trained, go for it. Yeah. You're not sure.
Is this the day that we leave?
It is.
I think we're gonna stop by MoMA first.
Okay.
Just to say that we're going, and you know that we're not being here for a couple of days or weeks.
All right. You guys stop by Moma's place, and as you are walking up, you smell cheese muffins, fresh coming out of the bakery.
Cheese muffins.
Cheese muffins. Small, quick bread muffin filled with melty cheese.
You're making me hungry.
And as you walk up, these things are the size of your fist. She hands one to each of you. Goes, "Oh, how are you today?"
Hungry. I need to go make some cheese muffins.
just stopping by to let you know that we'll be out of town for a job for a couple of weeks. So don't worry if we don't show up anytime soon, please.
Oh, if that's the case, she runs back inside and comes out carrying. She has a bag. It's kind of a hardy like burlap, and as she hands it to you, Kryor, you smell bread, like yeasty, lovely, recently cooled bread.
I'll thank her for it. I'll give her a hug.
She hugs you back. She doesn't let any of you escape without a hug. And then
Mama, stop.
oh, have you been eating right here? And she hands you like a sweet roll from somewhere. You don't know where she gets all this food from. You haven't been eating enough, dear.
You always say that.
Well, I'm always right. All right. So, returning back to the present, the fire is quickly doused by the thunderstorm that is rolling over your head. All of you are soaked to the bone within short order. You find that the Ararat, Serva, and Edvard are very, very dead back next to the remnants of their campfire. Ararat is missing more than one limb. And Serva and Edvard look like they got their sword into the thing before they were, or as they were being crushed. Talon
Does
looks...
Lumi know if land shark is edible meat?
Technically, yes. It is. There's nothing venomous, poisonous about it. But it is a predator, and it has like it burrows through the earth as a standard practice. So it is very, very tough, very hard, not very flavorful meat, but it is technically eatable.
Sorry,
so what
you
you're
could
saying is
tenderize
you should
this
make it
well
into
enough.
jerky.
You could yes. Go ahead.
tenderizing this meat would take a long time. You gotta really cook it slowly, and I don't know if we'll have the time to do that before it goes bad. So I think it's best to leave this I think it's best to leave the corpse here for Mother Scorpion to take back.
Making jerky would take considerably less time and still maintain a large portion of its edibility.
Jerky takes a day or two.
If you're worried about the meat going sour, don't. I got that covered.
Talon,
I'm not worried about its meat at all.
you guys have a lot of food in the carts. By the way, Talon,
Can we just light it on fire as a warning to other predators?
it's
Grab a couple of legs and leave the rest.
Yeah,
Talon-
setting something fire on the blazing rain. Good luck.
yeah. Talon goes and stands over his fallen companions and then shakes his head and looks at Varhi and Serhi and nods at them, and they go to the back wagon and very carefully to not get a bunch of their supplies wet, start unloading 7 foot long boxes out of the back of this thing.
Why do you have those in there?
These are the same boxes that Ibrikit and Loriandal noticed earlier. Talon looks at you and says, there have been 4 expeditions in the last 2 years to try to retake Miva. And in the best of expeditions, only 1 or 2 return. In the worst, none. I was tasked with making sure that if somebody fell, they end up in one of these. And with a emblem he takes an emblem off of his cloak, and presses it to a matching emblem on the top of the box, and the box hisses open with a slight escape of air, and he and the Salty Circle who are living then load their 3 friends in remains into these boxes. Everybody who has Arcana trained can roll Arcana, and you have advantage, Loriandal.
Okay.
That's plenty good.
I need to get back to my...
Is it too late to say I'd have cast Detect Magic on the boxes at some point while traveling?
No, they're magical. The domain is necromancy, I believe. 12. Oh, well. Well, roll it again.
Well, that's 1.
Yeah.
And that's 2, so 12. What the hell?
Do you have it trained? Well, either way, you would have advantage. All right. So, Ibrikit, as they're loading them in, you recognize the spell cast as this thing is closed. It casts Gentle Repose on anything residing inside of the box.
Alright, that's about what I figured. It's for preserving the bodies.
Yeah, Gentle Repose is necromancy.
Thank you.
Keeps them from becoming undead.
If I have it trained, I missed it. Feel like I should, but it's not listed on my thingy.
That's okay. We can figure that out later. So yes, it prevents corpses from becoming undead, and it also preserves them from aging, like dead body aging effects. Could I get a nature check from Lumi, please?
Or survival?
Or survival, sure. Does our druid not have nature trained?
Nope. Has survival, though.
Oh, this is gonna go great.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. So
now I'm really not surprised.
What do you guys do with the remainder of your interrupted evening? It is downpouring rain, and
Climb into the wagon and take a nap.
fair enough.
Come on, everybody, it's nap time.
Brisha's way ahead of you.
All right.
I want to study blood patterns on the ground as much as I can before they get washed away.
Sure.
Lumi will cast Druidcraft to try and figure out what the weather is like the next 24 hours.
Can you pop the spell into the chat? So to you, give me an investigation roll, please, Ibrikit.
Investigation. I get to add a D4 to my investigation.
Yes, you can. 13's good enough. So there is a burrow coming from the southeast that terminates around 15 feet from the campfire. And there's no footprints or anything between that burrow end and the campfire. And then there is a large flattened area that includes the where the bodies of the three fallen Salty were. And then you see the motion of the Salty Circle. You see the motion of the people, Talon, Serhi and, or not, sorry, yes, Serhi and Vari away from the campfire. Well, the remnants of the campfire.
Okay. I mean, I mostly like to study stuff like that, random patterns in my role as a diviner.
Sure.
But yeah, that's good information.
So weather for the next 24 hours. Strong monsoon storms for the remainder of the evening. And then clearing to lighter rains throughout the day.
Well, not quite the worst of it, but not far off either. It's gonna brighten up in a few hours.
All right. So that was the middle watch, including definitely Loriandal. I don't know if does anybody else have actual armor. I don't. Risha's the only one of the ones. Loriandal and let's say Ibrikit were the ones carrying that watch. Who wants the last watch of the night?
Zari will take it.
Lumi will join.
Okay. Everybody else finds what here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Save. Everybody else finds what comfort and dryness they can in the wagons. Could I have perception rolls from the watch takers, please? So, Lumi, as the sun is rising, you can tell because the pitch black thunder clouds just at the level of the horizon become slightly lighter. But not much else has changed. You notice that the river to the western edge of this roadway. Yep. So this is a very deep, very fast river. Like being only 10 or 15 feet wide, this thing is probably more than that deep. And you can see it slowly climbing the sloped bank towards the road. It has risen since you got here last night. It has risen at least 5 feet up the side of this bank and has about 5 or 6 more feet to go.
Oh boy. Flood warning.
Talon.
Does it spend the majority of the night to rise? How much did you say? 10?
4 or 5 feet.
4 or 5 feet, and there's
4.
the same remaining before it floods the roads.
Uh-huh. The road and the surrounding land on this side of the river is relatively flat. The other side embankment is 2 or 3 feet higher.
I will sound the alert.
All right, so
flood warning.
So those of you who were asleep get woken up by Lumi with a warning of flood. As you're doing this, Lumi, over the course of a couple minutes, you can watch the water rise another foot.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to move the wagons.
Yeah,
I try to get the wagons a bit further inland so they're not washed away.
Right.
But we'll probably have to leave them.
Talon is yelling at you guys. Can you help me get the Vushi hooked up to our wagon? Somebody? We don't have as many hands.
Will.
All right.
Yeah, I'll help with that.
All right, so a couple of you come over and help them out. The Vushi are kind of stamping nervously as you bring them in. Couple of ducks as one of the females like swings horns at you. But you're able to attach them to the wagons and start moving them up the slope away from the rising water. At about the time the water crests over the edge of the embankment. And this the amount that the water spreads away from the embankment is startling how fast it moves. I would like... Give me a... actually, a 1 to 6. I just roll a d6, obviously. Number 1. Lumi, you're furthest to the left on the thing. Give me a reflex save, please. You were a little too close to the water as it started rising. You're fine. Not even affected. You guys aren't...
Nabbit. Boot got soggy.
You guys get the thing over to about as far to the east, away from the river as you can. The rain is starting to slacken down. But it is still raining fairly heavily. You have a choice at this point. You can attempt to drive. The wheels are just touching the water. This section of road, at least, you think you can get the wagons okay. Who knows what it's like further on. I guess you guys have a choice. Do you take the wagons? I'm assuming you take the wagons for as long as you can. But do you all like hop in the wagons and try to just stay as dry as you can? How are you guys headed? Are you continuing to head towards Miva, or do last night's deaths dissuade you from continuing on?
Well, we have to continue on. That's our mission.
Lumi will probably walk ahead of the pack animals, trying to figure out where the most solid ground is, as long as he can.
Okay.
And Zari will be guiding the animals, walking beside them.
Okay.
As Lumi points out, good footing.
All right. Vushi are very sure-footed animals. You think that they would have no trouble climbing the embankment next to this roadway if they weren't attached to 2,000 plus pound, probably several tons, like 2 or 3 ton wagon that they're pulling behind them.
Well, we have a problem. We need the wagons because all the equipment's in there.
Correct.
And it's flooding, and we
Right.
got 3 deaths.
Correct. All of these things are true.
So, if we're gonna vote for stuff, I would say, how far are we away from the city now?
You're about 4 days out. Miva is approximately 3 days in good conditions on, and Haifa is 4 days in good condition back.
Yeah. But we don't have good conditions.
Correct.
Which direction does the river flow?
River flows towards Haifa.
Okay. So waterproofing the wagons and floating them down the river wouldn't get us there.
Would not get you to Miva, it would get you to Haifa.
Yeah.
Well, it better than nothing.
We can try
Or-
to push the cart. We can try to push the wagons up the ravine with the animals hauling them, or we can try to unload the wagons and save the supplies.
Does anyone have some kind of like levitation spell ready?
Yeah, they have 1,000 pounds of supplies. We cannot carry that.
Easily 1,000
If you
pounds.
have a
pounds of
floating
supplies.
disc, then we can get most of it.
Nope.
Then I guess we better just hope for the best and start pushing.
What if we hooked all the animals to one wagon at a time,
And tried to drag it out?
and all of us helped pushing and got one
Push it
wagon at a
up.
time off of the flooded roads?
We can sacrifice the coffins, sacrifice half of the equipment, keep the necessities, and just take the loss if we have to.
Well, I'd like to at least try to save one wagon
All right.
with that many supplies.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, focus on one, sacrifice what we have to, save a wagon and as many supplies as we can. But if we
This-
have to take a loss, we take a loss.
This sounds like this is a... I forget the actual term, but a multi-step action.
Skill challenge.
Skill challenge. Thank you. So we're gonna say this is a easy. We'll call it an easy skill challenge. So, we'll set DC to 12. You guys need 3 successes before you hit 3 failures. Please tell me who is taking what action, and then we will roll the dice to figure out how successful that action is.
Someone
Please
needs to
don't
hook.
make me roll or make us fail.
Someone needs to figure out what equipment and supplies to prioritize.
I think that the coffin should take lowest priority in terms of survival.
I agree.
So it's a mixture of it's a mixture of stuff in both wagons. With the coffins, there are 11 of them, taking up approximately half of each of the wagons.
I like to use my survival skill to do a triage of supplies,
Okay.
figuring out what's necessary, what's important, what can just be floated down the river if need be.
Sure.
To just coordinate the most important in one wagon that we're salvaging first, and the rest in the other wagon.
Okay.
does the rest of the Salty Circle say about this?
Well, they want to save their friends, but you guys are obviously a lot more competent than they are, so they're letting you take the lead.
Your friends are dead. Their bodies mean nothing.
You get slapped.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would go against that as well.
If
I
the,
will knock who slapped me. I would like to knock them unconscious and throw them bodily into the wagon.
That would have been Talon, and we're not gonna fight it out. We're gonna just everybody to their corners and backs down after a couple rounds of heated yelling.
Yeah, I will stop in the middle of that
fine.
conversation and call them Leon down.
All right, so yes, survival. DC 12. You got a 17. Takes you about a half an hour, but you redistribute the goods into, getting most of what you think is important into one of the wagons, and the less important things, including the various gentle repose coffins, into the other wagon.
if the gentle repose coffins are watertight, we could just set them on the river and they'll make their way back to Haifa. Hopefully.
I mean, they're magical, so they're more robust than, but they're not, like, this is a raging flood. It's a force of nature. It could damage a magical coffin.
Okay.
It's not,
Oh.
it's not impossible that that would work, but there's a chance of failure.
Okay. Well,
What-
anyway, someone needs to hook up the animals. All four to one wagon.
Sure.
I'll do that.
Okay. What skill are you using? Probably handle animal. Animal handling, 14. That is sufficient. You get the 4 Vuji hooked to one wagon, and you get them climbing in the direction of the thing.
How far is it away that we should know that it's safer for the wagon?
There's a so you're right now the road is on like a floodplain, and then there's another embankment, and then there's another relatively level hill section. So it would be as safe as you can find for the next several miles just over this embankment.
So that takes us hours, half a day.
Oh, well, it would take you hours if you wanted to go east far enough to get like farther away. There is a dry embankment just 250, 300 feet off of the original course of the river.
We could park the other cart there.
Well, first let's get this one up over the embankment.
Yeah,
Right.
let's see how
And
tough
Zari
it is.
would like to use a strength check to help push it up.
Okay. Give me your strength roll. 21. Okay. That's 3 successes and no failures. With a couple hours of work, you are able to get the first cart up and over the embankment, hook the Vuji up to the second cart, and it is, because it's not full of heavy tools and similar, it is lighter than the first cart, and some careful shoving, and you're able to get both carts up onto the embankment. You have okay. Lumi has a cantrip that can tell him weather, so I will just give this to you. It's unlikely that this storm will flood the river beyond this second embankment.
So it's basically safe to just take the 2 carts now?
Yes. You guys had a complete success, so yes. It's basically safe to take 2 carts. This will slow you down because you are no longer traveling along a good road, but it is also not flooding.
Yay, we saved the supplies.
Are you going to leave the carts arranged as they are, or are you going to redistribute stuff between the two carts?
The heavy carts is with all the good equipment, right?
Correct.
I think we leave the four what's it called again?
Vuji?
Wuji on the heavy cart, and then just rope up the second cart behind it.
No, I think we better put 2 on 2. It'll just be easier that way. If we have to drop the second cart, it'll be fine.
But
Yeah,
one is heavier than the other.
carts. Well, the Vuji are pretty strong. The carts they're not meant to train together like what you're thinking. So
Okay.
it would be there would be some rigging to try to make that work.
Yeah, we should just hook them up 2 and 2 and get going.
All right. Heading towards Miva, you guys continue at about half. You guys continue at about half of the speed that you would normally be going. Between the rain and the uneven terrain, the heavier cart doesn't pull as well. And you find yourself around noon swapping animals so that the more tired animals can be put on the lighter cart and the less tired animals can be put on the less heavy cart.
Has the rain lightened up?
The rain is tapering down, yes. As evening approaches, you guys are at the same speed you have been going, 6 days away, or 5 days away from from Miva.
Well, added time is less of a concern with fewer mouths to feed, and we saved all the supplies.
You guys have had 3 weeks of supplies for 12 people. You have eaten 5 days of that. I will let somebody else figure that math out.
And we got extra supplies from Muma.
You did add another day's worth, because that was a lot of bread. Enough bread to feed 12 people for a day. All right. As the evening... Go ahead.
Were we looking to find camp soon, guys? I'm getting mighty sore from all this trudging in this not wet but soft ground. No response. Okay.
Camp sounds like a great idea to me. Anywhere that's less wet.
Well, we are on the less wet ground, and it doesn't look like the water's going to get to us, so...
Anybody can give me a nature roll. Yeah. Did you
clicked it once?
Okay. Did Deem just fall asleep again?
I think so.
We'll find out here in a minute. So Ibikit, you find a copse of trees.
I'll move him down to sideboard. Maybe the sound of him moving
Right.
wakes him up.
All right. You find a copse of trees that's relatively dry. Look like some I can't think. The type of tree that has like the papery bark.
Birch?
Birch, yes. Some birch trees alongside the road. Decent supply of wood, some protection from rain. The rain has actually died down to the point where it's mostly just kind of a misty mist. Wow. I don't know words apparently.
Fog?
Yeah. Well, it's not really fog, it's just kind of a very light, really humid air.
Really damp.
Damp, yeah. Drizzle. Thank you, Risha. That is the correct word that I was looking for. And yeah, go ahead and make camp here for the night.
I will light the fire with Druidcraft.
Nice.
Ta-da.
Talon comes up to you as you're lighting the fire and goes, do you mind if we circle the wagons and combine camps? With 12 of us, there was kind of too many, it felt like, but I don't know that I want two separate camps anymore.
That's fine with me.
I give him a nice nod.
They set up their tents. You guys each have a like single person tent that you can use. So they set up their tents just outside of the ring of fire, far enough that they're not going to bother anybody else. And settle in for the evening. One of them taking first watch.
I'll just sleep outside.
Okay. Night passes, and several more days pass as you guys move your way more and more towards Miva. After a couple of days of traveling up in the more rugged terrain, the floodwaters abate, and you are able to move back to the roadway, which is in surprisingly good condition considering it had a flood covering it really recently. So you guys are now about a day away from Miva.
How high is the water?
The water has returned to the normal banks, and you're able to find a location to bring the carts back to the road.
I'll just look around, enjoying the scenery and looking out for wildlife, friendly or unfriendly.
Not much wildlife spots the area. Small squirrel-like creatures occasionally you see pop up along one edge of embankment or another. A couple of times you guys have to redirect your Vuji because they can smell, with the passing of the spring rain, they can smell the sword grass, birds.
Razorgrass?
Razorgrass, thank you. Starting to sprout. And you have to redirect them. They are well-trained animals, so they accept your guidance. But definitely can tell you got a couple skeptical looks when you're like, no, stay on the road. Don't go over there and eat that. I would like everybody to make a... I would like everybody to make a perception check, please. Well, there's a 22.
Should I just go join him in the sideboard and try yelling at him?
No, I'll talk with him after this. It's okay. Yeah, so with a 22 and a 15, and Azari with a 14, all of those are good enough. You guys can see in the distance as the sun is setting north, south, west. Oh, ahead of you, because it sets in the west, right? And you're heading generally in a westerly direction. You guys can see the edge of the top of the city walls of Miva in the distance. If you continue on into the night, it will be dark before you arrive. But you could technically make it there today if you push yourself.
We're not in a rush.
Yeah, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what we thought 18 years ago.
Ooh. Should I make everybody make a wisdom save or take psychic damage? I won't, but anyway.
You take pride damage.
Take pride damage, yeah. Could I get just a straight intelligence roll from everybody?
Ooh. That's a save. Intelligence.
Well, the person who cares deeply about learning and the person who is just generally smart, you recognize features of the village that you left in the long past as you are approaching in the setting sun, and the walls look to be in surprisingly good condition for 18 years of nature having their way with them. But the gate, the gate to the city is like obviously either open or wrecked.
It would be probably a better, safer location to stay there if it's, you know, not crowded with animals.
Up to you guys. I will say that. Okay.
I vote we go into town. Actually, easier to defend.
I could
Yes, but we
always
don't-
scout it out first.
We don't know what's inside. Going in might be more dangerous than staying out here.
The wagons are 3 or 4 hours away from town. You can just, like, there's a little hill here. You can just see the top of the wall in the distance. Those of you with faster walking paces could cover the distance in less time, but you would also be very alone.
I could scout ahead to see if there is nothing wrong.
But you guys have had multiple short rests. I forgot to mention that. So if you want to spend a hit dice to regain HP, otherwise, Zari, to answer your question, roll me 1d100, please.
Yes. How do I do that?
On the left-hand side of the screen, on the left-hand side of roll 20, there is looks like a d20.
D100.
Yes.
I found it.
Or Intertooth also has a correct. you find amongst this stuff 3 healing potions. Those are all the healing potions you are going to be getting from the thing. So, but yes, with a 97, you find 3 in the supplies. Oh, or you're also rolling a hit dice, get 12.
Yep. Well, now we have 3 hit dice, and I am back up to max after
Yes.
hit dice roll.
Now you have 3 healing potions, and I think you're the only one who took damage, so...
Yes.
Alright, so what is the plan, friends?
Yeah, I can scout ahead.
Krior, care to join me on a scout run?
How fast can you move?
Depends on how fast that lanky body of yours can move.
In 1 round, 90 feet.
Oi, how are you
What
so
do you-
fast?
What do you say again about
Oh,
the limpy
oh,
body?
This is why I never challenge him to a foot race.
How? I thought I was fast, but you know,
Do you
We'll
have...
get
Is
this.
training as a monk.
I think level 2 you gain your bonus action
Bonus action dash. Yes.
dash, yeah. So yes, it's not very far that you realize Krior is a lot, like an easy like jog for him is a flat sprint for you.
Yep.
I would let you keep up.
Like
with-
I'm in shape and everything, but
So, are you both going? Or is Krior going on ahead alone?
I can slow down a bit.
Well, slow down a bit puts you at the same seat as the wagons, basically.
Well, then I think I will go alone, and or if he can keep up, he can join me.
I will do my best to keep up.
All right, I would like a Constitution save from you, please, Risha. Oh, you're fine. Okay, so I'm gonna move. We're gonna move Deem into AFK. Actually, Zer, could you move Deem into AFK so I can move Risha and Kyror into the sideboard? Thank you. Please join me in the sideboard. So, you guys arrive after about an hour of running for you. You're winded, Risha, but you managed to avoid taking a point of exhaustion. But you arrive at the gate of the village. Moss and vines cover the exterior walls, and it looks like something enormous has punched or blasted the doors of the city or of the town down, flattening some nearby buildings. The buildings themselves, the roofs have fallen in. There is a bunch of the smell of rot around, and this feels like a dead place, if that makes sense. Could I have you both give me a perception roll and an investigation roll as you get to the city or to the town? It's going great.
Oh, that was performance.
Ah, well,
Perception.
perception, yes.
It's the same.
It's the same. Okay. So the smell of death or of rot surrounds you as you enter the city. And you work your way. Yeah, a stealth roll would not be amiss either. How do you have an 18 on a 1? Okay. It's fine. I'm just going to accept that that is a thing. You move quietly into the city. The night has fallen. Risha, you can see much better than Kyror can. But despite this, Kyror, you notice the first set of dragging footprints as it moves through the city street. It is an obviously human-sized footprint, but there is the image in the mud of the street of a booted foot next to the image of a dragging line. And
How fresh?
give me a survival roll, please. Oh, that makes more sense. Survival is 16. Within the past couple of days, since the rain. It's been about 3 days since the rain, so this was impressed into the wet mud from the rain and then left there.
I poke at Risha. We're not alone. And point at the marks.
With 18 on stealth.
And it was a 1 on the D4, by the way.
Oh, okay. So you guys move in just a little further into the city, and you hear a sound just as you round a corner, thinking you're careful, and I would like a reflex save from you, Risha, as your stealth wasn't quite good enough.
Reflex.
Dexterity save 13. That will be good enough that the zombie stumbling out of the alleyway, instead of landing on you, flops down in front of you and explodes into rot at your feet and goes silent.
Oh, great.
I think we could head back to the party and let's camp outside.
And I thought the mud was bad enough.
Oh, the smell here is amazing. All right, could I have you guys roll one more stealth roll on the way out?
Yep. Vex still smells worse.
Okay. Meet it, beat it. So, you guys only got in 3 or 4 blocks into this city.
How long is it?
And yet, you are still met at the exterior gate by a couple of skeletons. And then we're just going to hold there for a minute. And we're going to everybody come back up to the voice channel. It has been 5 hours since they left to scout the town. It is well into the evening, way too late to continue on until basically, just by having waited this long, it is too late for you to bring the carts to Miva this night. Y'all have a choice. Your friends are 3 hours overdue. You do not know what happened. You do know that they went into the village to look and scout, but they should have been back 2 or 3 hours by now. The Salty Circle has set up a camp for themselves, and they are watching to see what you guys are going to do.
Well, I told them it was safer to stay out here. Well, they either found something or they're dead, so... Do you think I talked to the circle and be like, do you think you three can watch the camp while we go find the others?
Yeah. We can take care of the camp, keep the animals safe. If you're not back by morning, we will approach the village without going in, but we won't actually enter ourselves. And if you guys don't make it out by tomorrow evening, we'll turn around and go home.
Head back to Haifa. Yeah.
And let them know that this place is. If they want this place, they're gonna have to send the army.
I'll keep you updated. I can send you magical messages.
That would be appreciated. We'll know that if we just hear screaming, that went very poorly.
Oh, or it might be going well.
Fair enough. Yes, we will watch. We will keep the camp and the animals and.
Well, message only has a range of 120 feet. Never mind, I can't do that.
You're more than that away from the city. I'll let you make it have a longer range for inspiration. You don't have any inspiration right now, but you might earn it. All right, so you guys gonna head?
Yep, we're gonna take a stroll.
All right. So you all head. You all spend the next 2 hours. It is really early morning. Do you bring light with you? I'm assuming you have to.
I think two of us should at least carry some of the lanterns. Off the wagons. They
are hooded lanterns. You can make them pinprick or like low light or full light. So
yep.
So you guys should have started music. Did it start music? Should have started music. All right.
Yeah, I can carry one. I don't need both hands.
Yeah. So you guys make your way to the easternmost turn this up just a little bit. Easternmost gate of the village. As you're arriving, moss and vines cover the city walls, which are still in remarkably good condition despite having 18 years of nobody maintaining them. The gates themselves look like some great force blasted them into the street, knocking down a couple of buildings and shredding the remains of the gates. The smell of rot is pervasive and all-encompassing as you arrive at the gate. Make sure the
this many years there shouldn't be this much rotting. Should all be dust by now.
As you guys come into the city, I would like everybody in this group to make a perception check and a investigation check, please. Well, you guys can roll. So Lumi with a 21 on perception, Zari with the 21 on perception.
And that was a nat 20.
Nice. So you guys notice that there is with there have been a large amount of movement in this general area since the rain fell. And then per investigation, pointing this out to Ibrikit, you see the look of both booted feet and the impression of skeletal feet moving around the ground in this area. You also see a even more recent set of human unbooted feet and the soft-soled slippers of Risha. And they look to have taken off at a run. Well, okay, now I need a survival roll for anybody who wants to do it after having noticed this. Survival is good.
Yeah, I'd point out the prints, but I lose them pretty quick.
Yeah. So, Lumi, with a 19 on survival, you, in the dim light that you carry, are able to see the footprints of Kryror and Risha running, like, taking off at a run deeper into the city, and the point at which they, on this very large building here, transition from running down the street to running up a wall, or climbing up a wall. And at the base of this wall, you see a moderately sized crowd of human forms kind of milling about.
Oh, good. I point out said humanoid figures. Do they look, are we close enough that they look skeletal, or do they actually look human? Fairly human.
It's dark and you have very little light. They are shapes in the distance. And if you don't want to get spotted by them, I'm going to start needing stealth rolls.
Is there a open building nearby that we can duck into?
Pretty much all of these buildings are some level of open. Either a wall is down, a door is open. Yes.
Okay. So I tap everyone on the shoulders and point towards a nearby house with an open door.
We'll say it's this one right here.
Yep.
I would like everybody to make a stealth check, please, including the people who are standing on top of this government or this stone edifice of a building. I love the 4 gives it a green light, even though it's lower than the one that gave it a red light. 15, 12. Kryor. All right. Well, I would also like Kryor and Risha to make a perception check, please. Oh. Okay. So, Kryor and Risha, you guys are hanging out in a little parapet about 25 feet off of the ground. Yay, dragon's back. Which is great timing.
Stealth check.
Yeah, it's fine. About 25 feet off of the ground, and you notice the small wagon lamp that Ibukit has in her hand as she ducks into a nearby building. The masked undead below you seem to have not noticed your friend and are continuing to mill about below you. Occasionally one of them will take a half-hearted, or, well, in the case of the skeletons, zero-hearted swing at the facade of the building, but the magical enchantments laid on this building a couple of decades ago seem to protect it from damage by the undead.
I poke Suta or Risha and say, well, I think our friends have arrived.
It's
Oh,
3 in the
cool.
morning.
And I point at the building where I saw the lamp go in.
Oh, they made it in farther than I expected. I guess we took most of the attention away.
You.
What do you mean, me? I'm small and fast. Just because I sneezed.
Yeah, the smell is not nice here.
It still smells better than Vex. Oh, that man.
And
Any means to contact them?
Perception by the other group, please.
Which group? Us?
Yes, you. Well, since considering the 6, everybody so far has spotted Kryror's hidey place on the side of this building.
at our group, the latecomers, Lumi will note they're hanging off the wall, and if those things under them are undead, I might be able to keep them stuck for a time. But that would exhaust all my magical energy for the time.
How many can we spot? How many general figures? Is it like 4, 6, 12?
More than 5 or 6, but it's really hard to tell with the very dim starlight above and the fact that you have your own light with you.
Okay. Is there a way to the roof in this building? Or is the roof caved in?
Working your way up the building, the roof on this building is mostly caved in. There are a couple buildings nearby that look to have roofs. You're unsure of their state.
I think there's too many to take without something big, but that might draw more in.
I could also perhaps make your hammer a bit more effective. But I don't have a lot. I could either try to root the things or illuminate them like I did with the land shark.
we might be able to reduce their numbers, like cause a distraction in another direction and let some of them run away.
You said you could potentially call back to the salty circle, but you couldn't because it was too far.
Yeah.
Are Krior and Risha too far?
Yeah. What's the distance to them? And what's the distance to the shambling horde?
So the distance to Risha and Kryar is just if you get just outside of this building, you can reach them with your message spell. 120 feet, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just barely reach. The shambling horde is about the same distance, maybe a little closer, just because they're kind of wandering around a little bit. They seem real focused on. They don't seem real bright, but they seem real focused.
Hey. Well, it's too far away for me to do anything to the bad guys that I might want to do. But I could get a message to our team up there if we have anything we want to say to them.
Try to figure out how many there are and if we think we can take them on.
I mean, I could try to chuck a rock down the street and it might send some of them away. That'll at least cut down on their numbers. Should I do that?
Let's try and get contact and see what they have to say and what they think.
Yeah, because they can respond.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, like, everybody's familiar with you using this spell, so
Yeah.
this isn't the first time.
So I'm just going to be requesting a status report and whether they have any ideas.
Okay. To Risha or to Kryar?
Risha.
Okay. Risha, at a low whispered sound, just sounds like it's just outside of your left ear, you hear Iberkeet say, asking for a status report and so on and so forth. And you know you can respond to this message.
Well, we've got about a dozen or more zombies and skeletons trying to pick at us. I don't have enough arrows, and other than that, we're fine. A little bored.
So we'll cut back. We'll do a little more time shenanigans. So cutting back to earlier, Risha, you and Kryror almost made it to the gate, except a large humanoid skeleton and two much smaller humanoid skeletons walk their way and block your exit. With quick thinking and fast feet, you beat your way back into the town, but unfortunately, the calls of this larger skeleton seems to have summoned a group of other undead. You find your way to a large stone building, looks to have been like a city hall or other government building, with thick stone walls that have handholds and footholds relatively easily placed in them, allowing you to climb up out of the reach for all of these creatures. The giant of an undead watches you climb and then moves off into the city after having summoned 16 other undead to gather around at your feet. In the last few hours, as you have watched, the numbers have thinned a little bit, but every time you think that the crowd might move on, one or the other of you shifts position, because you can't stay standing here without moving a little bit. And 1 or 2 of them will have wandered off, but the rest of them will focus back on you and be staring at you. So below you are approximately, from your count, well, actually, you can see it pretty easily, Risha. There's at least, there are approximately 10 undead below you, 3 of which are zombies, and the rest are skeletons.
Too many skeletals. Too many
Drop a fireball.
I have a fireball. That's a 3rd level spell.
If you could, but.
If I could, but. My only, like, group things are sleep and color spray, and color spray just blinds, and sleep doesn't work on undead.
I can either entangle or fairy fire. But that would end my magical contributions on.
How far away was the second group?
About 120
From the
feet.
zombies?
Oh, the zombies are directly below you, about 25 feet down.
And the other group from that is
20? Well, I don't know Trig very well, but they're about 120 feet from you as the crow flies.
Okay.
So whatever that right angle
It's
is.
a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little too far for Misty Step there.
Oh, not
I
only
do
Misty Step.
have a debuff spell, but they're too far away to utilize it.
Okay, well, Zari looks around inside the house and finds something large and metal that'll make a good loud noise.
You find the door from a pot-bellied stove that has, the stove itself has long since corroded away from the hole in the roof, but the door itself, and with the handle, is still there and available for you.
Okay, I'm going to quietly pick that up, step into the the street heading north, and chuck that stove as hard as I can up that street, and then duck back into the house.
Okay, I would like a stealth roll followed by a strength check. Stealth to avoid
Athletics.
getting noticed, and then strength to pitch the thing at a distance. Okay. 11. This thing is awkward to throw, but with a little bit of a discus spin, you send it 30 or 40 feet up the street, and it go you like loud in the relative quiet of the night. You guys all hear the bang and clatter of this stove door been like going down the street. Zari, like, they all turn in your general, like, you book it as quick as possible. I'm gonna need one more stealth check to see if you manage to get back in time, or you can give me a dexterity, basically speed check.
Dexterity check, or check.
Check.
Up at the top.
Yes.
Do we see this happening?
Risha does. Dexterity, that is good enough. You duck in the thing just as you hear several groans and kind of a sound as some of the undead below your friends start moving towards investigating the clatter. You think, let's see, we had all right, seven of them. You can those of you who have dark vision, 7 of the undead, 1 of the zombies, and 6 skeletons move away from the bottom of this place. Not sure how far they're gonna go, but they're moved away.
Prove effective.
Could I have everybody make a perception check, please? I'm assuming you're all kind of like trying to mask your breathing, being quiet. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, Dean, got a perception on you? Go Scout Team.
Perception, my passive perception is low.
And you just roll perception. So,
Okay, let me. That's.
so anybody with a higher than 15.
There we go. Sorry, I keep forgetting where the thingy is.
Right.
I'm still new to navigating the way D&D Beyond
That's fair.
has things placed.
No problem. Anybody higher with higher than a 15, as you guys are all like trying to stay as quiet as possible, as you hear the skeleton chatter and clatter emanate out from these skeletons as they're like, ooh, food maybe? Food maybe. You can hear echoes of that same chattering and clattering from elsewhere in town. Ever so quietly, almost the whisper of a dream. Just
Okay, have the skeletons moved past our hiding space?
they turned up this street and have moved some distance up that way. You're unsure how
Okay.
far because they move outside of sight range of even those who can see in the dark.
Okay, we gotta move fast and get to the others and try to get them down, so we can all
Going
move as
to-
one.
Telepathically, one by one, inform those in my immediate vicinity that there are more skeletons. Not sure where, but there are.
I vote for throwing caution to the wind and just going out there and bashing skulls with our blunt objects.
Yes, we need to. Now that we've drawn some of them away, I think we can take the ones underneath Cryor and Risha. So let's move.
I have a mace, so I can just crush skulls, and that should do the job.
All right. Give
Zari
me-
looks at your little mace, looks at her big hammer.
All right, so
You are overcompensating.
Well,
Blunt
Lube-
force is blunt force. I have a shield because I like to get dirty and bash things with my other arm as well. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not going to get into a spitting contest with Lion, so I'm going to move out the door and start heading towards the town hall. You say?
yeah. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna set this up. We have. Well, I can move you all here as I'm setting this up. So we have Kryror and Risha up on a wall there, and at the right edge of the map we have everybody else. And then
Oh no, there are two Cryor.
there are.
now there's one.
Okay, so I need to find. Nope. There we go. So we have. So we have one. Nope. Two. There are two zombies, and there are. I said there were 3 zombies, 6 skeletons, 1 zombie, and wait. I think there are 5 skeletons and 2 zombies left.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, 5, and just a zombie boy. Come on, zombie boy. There we go. And this. All right. And now we have the fun time to. We're going to set up You have vision. You have night vision. 60 feet. Save settings. You have vision. Save settings. You have vision. Night vision. 60 feet. Save settings. Vision. 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 All right, and then you, Ibrikit, you have a torch that emits light at 10 feet and dim light at 25 feet. There we go. And it is dark. Did that do that properly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dark on my
Nice.
screen yet.
Okay. Okay, it just took it a second for it to update. Oh, well,
There
it's
we go.
because people have night vision. I'm gonna. This is dimming at 0 feet. Save. That's a little better.
It's dark now.
Dimming at 0 feet.
I only see the party.
Yep, that is what you should be seeing. It's
Yep.
You guys saw where I put stuff out before. That was on purpose because you kind of can see a little bit, but it's like you currently have disadvantage to attacks unless you have light and so on and so forth, unless you have dark vision. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pick up right here next week. Well, not next week. 2 weeks from now. So this has been an incredible amount of fun. We will get back to a party trying to kill a undead horde quietly, lest they summon the guardians of this place. It's been a lot of fun. Hope to see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you everybody for watching. It has been great having you here. Bye.